I put my mother on the no visitors list at the hospital, so I had surgery last Tuesday. Nothing anyone needs the details of, just that I'd be laid up for a few days and pretty out of it, and my husband Dan took time off to be with me. My mom found out I was going in from my aunt, not from me, and honestly that tells you most of what you need to know already. We're not close. We haven't been close in a long time, but she called the room phone the first night at like 9 p.m, and the first thing she said wasn't "How are you?" It was, "Why did I have to hear this from Linda?" I said I was tired and I'd call her later. She said, "I'm your mother. I'll be there in the morning." I said, "Please don't. I really just need to rest." She hung up. The next morning around 10 she showed up anyway. Walked right in with a grocery bag and started rearranging the little tray table like she owned the place. Dan was in the chair half asleep. She looked at him and said, "You can go home now. I've got her." He said he was fine staying. She said, "Family handles family," which is a funny thing to say to my husband, but okay. Then she started in. She wanted to know why I hadn't told her about the surgery, why I'd told my aunt, why Dan's mother had gotten to come. Dan's mom had dropped off soup. That's it. She kept getting louder and I kept telling her I couldn't do this right now. I was in pain. I just had anesthesia. She said, "You always do this. You cut me out and then you play the victim." A nurse actually came in to check because she heard the volume from the hall. Here's the part I hadn't told anyone. 2 years ago my mom took out a credit card in my name. I found out when I got denied for a car loan. She cried, said it was a mistake, said she'd pay it back, and I let it go because that's what I do. I let things go. She never paid a cent of it. I'd been quietly cleaning it up for 2 years. Dan didn't even know the whole story. So I'm lying there and she leans over the bed and says, real low so the nurse won't hear, "By the way, I need you to co-sign something for me when you're feeling better." And I just started laughing. Not a happy laugh, the kind that scares people. I said, "You came to my hospital room to ask me to co-sign a loan." She straightened up and got that wounded look. She said, "I came because I'm your mother and no one else was going to take care of you." Dan sat up at that. He said, "I'm literally right here." She waved her hand at him like he was a fly. I told her I needed her to leave. She said she wasn't going anywhere. I said it again. She sat down in the second chair and folded her arms and said, "I'll leave when visiting hours are over." So I pressed the call button. The nurse came back and I said, calm as I could manage, "I'd like to add someone to my no visitors list." The nurse said, "Sure, who?" And my mom laughed. She actually laughed because she thought I meant Dan's mom or my aunt or someone. She said, "Good, keep that whole side of the family out." I looked right at her and said, "Her, my mother. She's not allowed back." The nurse looked between us. My mom's face did this thing I'd never seen it do. She said, "You can't be serious." I said, "First and last name is on my chart already. Take it from there." The nurse asked her, very politely, to come with her. My mom stood up slow. She said, "You'll regret this. You'll need me one day and I won't come." I said, "You didn't come the last 2 years either. You just sent bills." She stopped at the door. She said, "That card was a misunderstanding." I said, "There's a paper trail. Go home." She left the grocery bag on the tray table. Dan looked inside it after she was gone. There was a birthday card in there, unsigned, and a pen. My birthday's in 3 weeks. She'd brought it early so she could hand it to me and ask for the cosign in the same breath and call it love. Dan called the front desk himself an hour later just to confirm her name was flagged. It is. She's called the main line 4 times since. They tell her the same thing every time.